who the Jews try to claim as being solely them. And this is bullshit, because they are not the only people who suffered in the Holocaust. There were so many people that was murdered. There were united complexions, like what we see in the Mexican population today. Those are the people that was targeted for eradication. Though their personifications never show up in any of the Nazi death camps that you see on all the TV broadcasts, you better believe that a large percentage of those people that they call gypsies, that looked just like the Spanish people look today, though they had been programmed to make themselves as white as possible, though a lot of them did just what you Mexicans are doing today. They had followed the bad propaganda of the eradication of their melanin to be accepted by the cruel white people, who themselves merged out of, or came into existence from those same laboratory conditionings. So now we got a world full of fake, mutated, recessive people that is on a fast rampage type of accelerated quest to eradicate all the life sustainment out of their existence, and at the same time create circumstances to make the other people who has all this life sustaining melanin inside of them feel inferior and do nothing but get rid of the stuff that gives them life. And then along with that, accept their foolish propaganda of their greatness being in some white dead man on the cross. And that's why you see decadence and destruction like you just saw right there to that great civilization that these same people destroyed. But see, the knowledge of the sunlight is always available, and that's why you see these statues coming back, surfacing. And I have tons of people, melanated people, who will back me up on this stuff not being voodoo and bad. This is what this is resurrection. And it's written on the walls of the day that we will resurrect as a people and become great again. So that's what we're dealing here with. And we have the light ships to back us up. So that's just the way it is. You know, and everybody who tried to throw the dirt over us and oppress us are the people that's targeted for eradication and will be eradicated. And sick now, a lot of you, and you know that. And I'm not saying that to be mean and nasty. I'm saying it because it's true. And people are so damn stuck and stubborn, instead of trying to fix their circumstances with what little bit of energy and life sustainment they have left, they still want to be evil as hell and stare people down and do things that they can to try to stagnate other people. And that's the reason why you see people dying in large numbers, 800, 1,000, 500, 5,000, all that. Because that's the type of genocide that this small percentage of people has demonstrated on the large magnitude. The large multitude of people have all been affected mentally as well as physically, economically, through school systems of in poverty every fucking way. All because one race of people does everything they can to perpetuate their stagnant, bullshit, oppressive, decadence, religion on the other world, and they use guns and ignorance and deprivation to perpetuate their dullness and their death to every living species. Everything on the planet that has spiritual life in it are subject to death and eradication because of these people's way of sustaining themselves.
After that, you see, the Ottoman Empire was destroyed by the British. So the Arabs over there, all these notables, these little chieftains all over in Africa, all over in the Balkans, and all over in Northeast Africa, they had no literature for them to hold on to. You see, so in 1919 they accepted, the Arab world accepted this Quran. So, like I said before, the religion called Islam is a religion based upon a book called the Quran. They rallied behind that Quran. See? And then this is when Abdul Aziz, when the League of Nations after World War I gave the British the mandate over what they call in the Middle East, which is Northeast Africa, which is a misnomer, but it's actually Northeast Africa, gave them a mandate in 1920. The British began to parcel out rulership to different Arab rulers over there. And Abdul Aziz was appointed king of Arabia in 1924. You see? And 2 years later, in 1926, he called the first meeting in Islam's history. And I have that meeting, I have the minutes of that meeting in my book, The Historical Origin of Islam. I have the minutes in there, you see? And that was the world's first Hajj there. And they met in Mecca, you see? So these things we have to know by way of research, by way of history, human history, time, people, places, events, and literature. You have to use those 5 ingredients, but you have to go beyond tradition. You cannot no longer sit up and believe something, but you...
What he's saying is this: we can't just afford to sit our ass around and believe something because that's the only thing available. You know, anytime someone enslave you, you think they're going to leave you. Just say, for instance, I kidnap somebody. You think I'm going to take them and lock them up in a house and let them know the whole layout of the house that I bring them into? Of course not. I'll blindfold their ass and bring them into something of the complete darkness. So when they have to escape, they won't have no image in their mind about what they have to escape from. Because they don't know what they have to escape from. Because when I brought them into the house, I took that privilege away from them by not making it available, by covering their eyes up. So do you really believe that this country, after they've did everything they've done all over the planet, is going to leave the information around for you to find your liberation? Do you think they're going to have it in their schools? Do you think it's going to be in churches that they allow to be on every damn corner? The answer to your liberation? Come on, get real. That's the reason why every church has a picture of the white man as God in it. Because if every church had a picture of the black man as God in it, you would not see preachers being able to survive as well as they're able to survive. They're able to survive because the churches pay for themselves by perpetuating the image of the white man as God. So that's the reason why when you see everything else in the neighborhood getting boarded up and dilapidated, the preachers able to manage to keep their freaking doors open. Imagine that shit.
But you think it's the truth. You got to go out and research yourself. I tell people, hey, go and research behind Walter Williams.
You should.
Okay? Yes. If I'm wrong, come and tell us.
You learn so much. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Do you know the reason I became educated is because I wanted to find out what I did so wrong in this world to be treated as bad as I'm treated? I swear, that's what put me on my quest for knowledge, because I wanted to find out what it was that we as a people had done to make us be resented so much and so ostracized. You know what I found out? We're not ostracized. We are oppressed. We are such a great people that some sorry-ass people around us know how great we are, and they have taken our knowledge of our greatness and hid it from us and convinced us that we are people who need them to govern us. And that method of governing us is murdering us, incarcerating us, raping us, stealing from us, forcing us to intermingle with other people and have siblings with them. And listen, their whole design is to turn those offsprings into a tool of hatred. That's the reason with the Mexicans. See, when you breed as a melanated person with someone that's not melanated, you create someone that's going to grow up and try to ride the fence. That means that they're going to be melanated when it's best suited for them, and they're going to be Caucasians when that's best suited for them. And that's really the truth. And that's the reason why you, as a melanated person, is responsible more than anyone into discovering the knowledge of self. So you don't go around the planet making circumstances where people can bump a fool out of you and make you a damn idiot. And here your white ass should be having interaction with the sunlight that's going to generate you, give you knowledge, and help. Instead, you somewhere crying with tears in your eyes, worshiping the white man. Your ass should be crying. From sheer idiocy alone, that should make your ass want to cry. You damn right you should be crying. And I wish I could just come in there when you're on the knees crying and get it in your pocket before Bishop Blake does. Because I'll be telling you, yeah, it's okay, honey. It's okay, sugar. Yeah, you go ahead and cry. Let me get this 20. And you keep on crying. Because Bishop Blake going to take the other 100. And you're going to be busy crying, so you don't need it. Because you know your sorry dumb ass should be crying. Instead of spending all this money supporting the white establishment. You give me this 20. I'm gonna go get me a little something that I'm gonna read so I could be better help to the world instead of sitting here on my knees crying like I've done something wrong when I have not. And especially I have to pay for my wickedness by giving money to white Jesus, who I've been paying all week when I brought gas and when I brought candy and when I got hair and when I brought some shoes and when I brought anything. I paid taxes plus the inflated price for it. And so you know what? Yeah, you must be crazy.
And this is what's right to be in this place. There's nothing wrong with that. But you cannot sit up in the pews of these churches, because when you go and sit up in the pews of the church, you don't have to think. There's nothing for you to think about. You come in and believe in. And with your faith. And the same thing with any religion. These Muslims, the Muslims, I found out, the Muslims, especially these African Muslims living in North America, they don't read. They don't study nothing. They go out and follow somebody.
But it's not just the religious sector. It's the whole world. See, that's why they give you teachers in schools. Because when you go to school, you have a teacher that read a certain thing from a book, and she make you focus in on what she want or he wants you to focus in on, and then they read some more, and you focus in on the main things that they're gonna have on the test. So the only thing you learn is what they wanted you to know. You can have a whole book in your hand, and they'll teach you a little bit out of that book for your whole semester, and what little bit you get out of that book is what you learn, and they pass you with knowledge that you don't need, like English. I can see a lot of jobs gonna hire you because you have good English, but you're still black. But you chose that as a college elective. Someone's fucking with your brain. And how about this one? I want to go to college for a specific knowledge that I want to learn. But no. See, in order to be in this college, you got to learn stuff that you don't want to learn because that's our setup. But wait, I don't want to pay you for all those classes. How about I use my money to just double up on this one subject that I want to learn? No, because see, you have to learn the whole dynamics of it, which means that we're going to force you to learn this too because you're going to still be in our society, and we have a system here in the school that once you go through all of the curriculum, you're going to be a good Catholic. So we do not alter from that. If you come into this college, you will receive all the brainwashed knowledge that's available for you here. And we're going to teach you how to drink alcohol. And we're going to teach girls that it's okay to have unconsensual sex with the football quarterback, because it's a lot of that going on. And we know that once we smear one girl's name and make her look like a skeezer because we put alcohol on campus, and some guys do sprinkle drugs and alcohol, but that never managed to surface because the girl was told that she was drunk, but they never mentioned that she was drugged also. So yeah, this is the reason why we need to get our own colleges and our own schools, because their schools make you become fools and rape victims that were not raped. He had sex with you without your consent. Go figure.
Just oh yeah, that's right, brother. I bear witness to that. And all that foolishness. They sit up there just dumb as hell. They won't study nothing. See, when you come along and say there's no Muhammad, they want to jump all over you. Oh no, brother, you're wrong. And they're talking fast and furious and so forth and so on. But see,
let me share something with you. I told you guys about the man that got on the bus when he was telling me about Black History Month, which was last month, February, according to a lot of you fools, which to me, we having Black History right now, but it's not February. Go figure. See, me and Walter Williams and Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, we all know that white man can't tell us when we can study our history. Okay, come on. This is one of the many head games that they play with you after they put you under spiritual bondage. But me and this other guy, who has no knowledge of self, was supposed to indulge in the argument